Ask yourself, do you know the first neighborhood in Philadelphia where people lived and things were established? Well, listen up. The Lenni Lenape Indians were the earliest documented inhabitants of the area that later became North Philadelphia. For thousands of years, the Lenapes occupied the banks of the Delaware and Schuylkill rivers, establishing several large settlements in and around the area that became North Philadelphia. North Philadelphia does not have a single established year because it was a region within the larger city of Philadelphia, but the Act of Consolidation in 1854 is significant as it incorporated many existing northern townships into the city. North Philadelphia. North Philadelphia origins trace back to the agriculture townships situated north of the original city of Philadelphia, which were gradually incorporated into the city through the Consolidation Act of 1854. Initially, these townships were a mix of farms and estates, but as Philadelphia grew, they became attractive for those seeking for alternative to the flourishing city, leading to construction of mansions in smaller towns. The Consolidation Act brought these areas under Philadelphia's control, ushering an era of industrial growth and immigration, particularly from Europe. Here's the breakdown. Pre-consolidation before 1854, North Philadelphia was a collection of distinct townships and estates characterized by agricultural land and some grand estates. Early growth. As Philadelphia expanded, particularly in the 18th century and the early 19th century, the area north of the city became a desirable location for those seeking for more space and a less crowded environment. The Consolidation Act. This was a significant piece of legislation in 1854 which annexed all the townships within the Philadelphia County, the city of Philadelphia, significantly expanding the city's boundaries. The industrial era. Following the consolidation, North Philadelphia experienced a rapid industrial development, attracting factories and diverse population, including many European immigrants. The neighborhood formation. The area saw construction of row house to accommodate the growing workforce, and many neighborhoods retained the names of their original townships. The shift in demographics. While initially attracting wealthier residents, North Philadelphians saw a shift in the late 19th century to the early 20th century. Now it's time for the breakdown. Formation. West Philadelphia. Southwest Philadelphia, South Philadelphia, Frankfurt, Kensington, Northeast Philadelphia.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Listen, my name is Kenny Ebo. I'm from Uptown. I'm going to explain the origin of Uptown to you. I'm from Vernon Road. Uh, the origin of Uptown, I've been hearing this a lot about what Uptown means to other people as far as the geographical area of where you're from. My personal view of Uptown from being up here 52 years plus, I'm from South Philly. I lived in North Philly 10 years. Everybody from North Philly says when they going uptown, Wadsworth, Washington Lane, 75th, Germantown, Dogtown, I'm going uptown. South Philly, I'm going uptown, period. Somerville, to me, Germantown, Dogtown, Brickyard. I have never, ever, and some of my personal friends are from these neighborhoods. I have never heard any of them say from where they live at that I'm going uptown. They don't say that. They say a specific street that they're going uptown to. They never say that I'm going uptown. So when somebody from Germantown or these areas say that I'm not from uptown, right? If you're not from uptown, then why do you say, well, I'm going to Wadsworth, I'm gonna go up Ogons to get a pizza, I'm gonna go see my man down Washington Lane, I'm gonna go to Cheltenham Avenue, the Shrimpies, and this, that, third. There's nothing wrong with it, but we trying to explain the origin of uptown and why people say what they say about uptown. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, North Philly people, my friends from North Philly, they say, I'm going uptown to go see Ebo. My people or my family from South Philly, they say, I'm going to go see my nephew or my cousin uptown. But from Wayne Avenue, this is only my only personal, from what I experienced with the geographical thing that's been going on for a long time, from high school to now. My Germantown friends, who I love y'all to death, my Somerville friends, whatever, you all say the same thing. You shout out a specific area that you're going to, but you never say that I'm going uptown. You know why? Because you're already uptown. You're already uptown. That's not just my personal belief, but me just even looking back on the history of uptown. Like, I really studied this stuff all the way down to the 1700s, when uptown was originated from a real estate guru, Mr. Allen. That was his name, 1750. He created Germantown, Mount Airy. If you don't believe me, look it up. It is what it is. There is a borderline of uptown. And I haven't seen Nicetown, Erie Avenue, that's North Philly. To me, that's what I seen. I studied it. I saw it. I hear it all the time. I'm a barber. We talk about this all the time. So, just to me, and what I've studied and what I've seen, maybe you might think different or whatever. Maybe you should just check and see. Uptown, Germantown, Dogtown, Brickyard, we all uptown. We all uptown family. We uptown. We uptown.
That's be you next, Harry.
My name is Harry Starks. I'm from Philadelphia, South Philly original, 15th Street, but the whole Philadelphia. I hung with everybody. I enjoyed it. I'm original 15th Street. I lived here on 18th Street for 60 years. You know, that's where my family was from, this house. 60 years, my mother still got the house. I'm original South Philly. I'm a South Philly boy.
My name is Melvin Starks. Melvin Starks from South Philly, original G from South Philly. That bull Nelly now, yeah, 15th Street. You know,
Where you at now?
where I'm at now, I'm doing fine. I'm sitting up here. I'm out here, but we trying to do a little something here, man. We trying to get things together in the neighborhood and stuff. We got a little club going on. We trying to get this thing together here. Trying to get these young brothers around here together. They go one of my little nephews over there. What's up, baby? And we,
Come on, get it.
and we trying to get things together for the, for the. Sit down here. Sit down right here with me, man.
This is one of my grandsons. I got
Trying to
15
get things
grandsons.
together, have a little something going, keep these young guys out of trouble, keep them standing up, man, It ain't about that how we came, because when we was coming up, we trying to make it safe for them, for they can have it, man.
I'm Big Moon from East Side. Been back there since the late 60s. They was talking about Pasquale's. When I moved up there, Pasquale's was a white barbershop. You know what I mean? I had white neighbors. but I'd be remiss if I don't mention my old heads. I lived on Haynes Street, one door away from the lanes. My man Warner, everybody know him as Duck.
Big Duck.
Big Duck, not Little Duck, Big Duck. Monk, Angie, Kurt, Andre, we all, they raised me. You know what I mean? That's how I became part of Somerville. Came up there, it was all family. And I'm glad I live where I live. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to be a part of Somerville. It made me the man that I am today. I do a lot of things, but I pride myself on my Somerville affiliation.
Hey, can I piggyback off of what he just said? All those names that he mentioned played a part, again, in raising me, especially Monk and Angie, right? So did Big Duck,
Also,
right?
Conrad.
So even like the point that I'm trying to make in regards to their kids, right? This how Somerville is I consider it a family. Their kids are some of my best friends to the day.
Celine,
Right.
Dirt,
Sadiq, all of them.
Hakeem.
You know? Yep. You know, and
Big family.
again, you know, salute to all of them. You know, Carlos, you know what I mean?
Passed on.
Timbo, you know, all the guys from Homicide. You know, my father, Tweet, you know, Oganson Godfrey, you know, legendary. I'm telling you, my father took me to every corner as I was coming up, and whether he was drinking or getting people jobs, it was he always made sure everybody knew that I was his son. So here it is, 45 years later, I'm 50, right? I have kids and I have nephews that I do the same thing with. You know, so I just wanted to end that part. I had to get that piece in.
Let me get this one piece in. I got you, because you can't be remiss without the GQ, my brother, GQ Rick, and they all used to go to Wagner Ballroom. They started at GQ dancing and all that. And I wanted to, real quick, we can't forget one of the legendary eating spots where you was safe at. I remember Stein, Hav, and all of them used to take me and a couple of guys on the block, Old Guys Diner.
It is Elvin Maricki and Jamil Wilson.
Greetings. Right now, we're live in Philadelphia on the legendary block, 75th and Fayette. They call that Uptown, Topside. And we with an even more legendary boxer, which has an astounding record of 1-42, I believe, or something like that, Goldie. Like, what's going on, man? Tell the people about yourself.
1-42, man. You know, man. I did my 1s and 2s uptown, you know, but you know, 1-42, that's real funny.
So let the people know, like, you know, what was your actual record? You know, I heard that you was a champion. You even became one of the first African American to own a poppy store in your neighborhood.
Yes, sir. Well, you know, going back from back in the day, you know, I started out fighting on the streets. You know, I was 42-0.
Okay. I know I had
On
the 40. I
streets.
know I had the 42
I was
part.
42-0 on the streets. All KOs. ER pickups.
Okay, they didn't put that in my notes.
Oh, yeah, they got that wrong.
Okay.
But,
That's Prince's fault.
Prince's fault. Your fault, Prince. But anyway, man, getting back, man, to the legendary neighborhood, man. Uptown is where I'm from. I'm Jamil Black Old Wilson, professional fighter. I've been boxing all my life. Like I said, I started from the streets. I was doing a little bullying in school, beating people up. And you know, my father, my uncle, and cousins and all my relatives was boxers. So my dad took me to my uncle that trained him. And my uncle Hassan was a light heavyweight champion of the world. And he trained me, starting out training me. And I trained with him with my amateur career. And my amateur career, I had over 38 fights in my amateur career. My amateur career, I was 32 and 4 or something like that, if I remember. Professional, I beat him. I think that was my first fight.
I was only 2 years old, but whatever. I ain't even break his window. They try to say that young baby boy broke his window. He just lost some nuts.
But when I turned pro, I had another trainer by the name of Willie Folk. Willie Folk took me to 10-0, 12-0, something like that. We traveled the world together. And then Darryl Scholler and Marty Scholler, the Scholler brothers, started managing.
Okay.
So then that's when their brother was a professional boxer by the name of James Scholler.
James Scholler.
He was black gold. And my trainer, Willie Folk, was James Scholler trainer. So when I went to camp with Evander Holyfield and Don Turner, the legendary Don Turner, and I know y'all know Holyfield. Don Turner was Holyfield trainer, and I had to go over there to spar. I think I was sparring with Jeff Lacey at the time.
My name is Michael Hickson, aka 47. And we're here at Waterview Playground on Haynes Street. I have so many memories of this place. My father used to work here. He used to open it up on Sundays for us sometime when guys didn't have anything to do in the neighborhood. My father, they'd call my father come up here, open this place up, man, let the young guys come in so they have a place to have rent. I've been here 71 years, man. I was born on Haynes Street, man, in 1954. So I've been in this area for 71 years. I own 3 properties on Haynes Street. I had a store on Haynes and Morton. And so my life has evolved around growing up in Haynes Street. And I'm here with Tracy Harris, and she's an original from Haynes Street. Her family's been legendary from Haynes Street. I want her to introduce herself and to tell her story.
Hi, my name is Tracy Harris. Born and raised back Haynes Street. My grandmother was born back Haynes Street in 1932. And we're here to talk about Waterview, and we're here to talk about real entrepreneurs when they own the buildings and when they own the stores here in Germantown. With Michael 47, Spice of Life. This store sold the best food. I was introduced to the best potato chips, Utz, through 47's store.
Hi, I'm Marie Holloman Bridges, author of Tug of War, Me versus Them. It's about people pleasing, and it could be purchased on Amazon.com. I guarantee you will love and you will learn things about yourself that you didn't even know. You will discover why, how you people please. Born and raised in Philadelphia, 1965 at Thomas Jefferson Hospital. A native of West Philadelphia. Love West Philadelphia. My fondest memories of West Philadelphia is not even knowing that we were poor. And when I say poor, the community that we had, the love that we had and shared, it was just wholesome. Going to parochial school, the music, the dancing, the love, the family was so important then and today. I always say that we are the last of the Mohicans because we knew how, we had grit, and we have grit till this day. So, you know, I wonder what the generation of today what will their story be about these times? So, you know.
She forgot to mention that I'm 8 minutes older than
Oh,
her.
yes, I forgot.
And my name is Michelle Holloman, and I am her big sister by 8 minutes. And growing up in Philadelphia, again, we're twins. We were born the same day, 8 minutes before her. I just remember growing up in a neighborhood that we had police athletic league. We were very active. We played ball. I remember I hit my first roofie with my half ball. You know, I'm going back. And I remember just playing king ball and jumping rope and having a great time. Yeah, remember we used to do talent shows.
Wow.
We used to do everything.
I was a
in the neighborhood.
choreographer, remember?
We had a great time. I was a baller, so I played every ball. Look at me, I'm popping willies. So I was really just doing my thing. You know, I was somewhat a bully a little bit, but I didn't know what that word meant at the time. But I pretty much held my own, and I fought all the time. Sometimes out West Philly, you just had to rumble. People just jealous of you because you're a pretty girl. So, you know, you had to give them one of these, you know. So that's how I kind of grew up, kind of toughy. I think they used to call me Tuffy, right? Somebody used to call me Tough. Yeah.
And I was the
and
good.
my name is William Holloman,
Yeah.
right? I was born in '46, and these are my children, right? These are my girls. Yeah, I have a lot of history in Philadelphia. Moving from North Philadelphia to West Philadelphia is a big change. Atmosphere change, everything changed. When I first moved up here, it was inundated by white folks. And it was something new to me because, I came up here, went to school, Transfiguration on Cedar Avenue. Never went to school with white folks. Big difference.
What year was that?
In 1960, I moved to West Philadelphia.
Daddy, I heard you was in a gang back in the day. Cedar Avenue gang.
Blink.
Blinky, is that what they called you?
Yes, Little Blink.
Little Blink.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, those were the days. Those days were something else. Because the South Side at that particular time, like I say, was just the South Side. Then later on, the South Side became 60th Street. It became the Barbary Coast. It became 58th and Osage. It became Rodman Street, Cedar Avenue, Eiffel Street. They all broke off into, a gang.
Can you name the rival games at the time?
Man, Cedar Avenue for everybody. 60th Street, Barbary Coast, Webster Street, Woodland Avenue, Pine Street, 42nd, Lex Street. They fought everybody.
So now I'm gonna talk about my little buddy EA. I met EA years ago, man. I'm gonna keep it all the way real. Maybe like 14, 15 years old, real ambitious kid, the kid with the deep voice and this, that, and third or whatever. That was my young boy. You know what I mean? I always focused on EA whenever I seen him. He was always a good kid, always showed me love. I was older than him. You know what I mean? EA, there was a little separation in our lives that when the next time I seen him, he was a grown man. And he was doing some things, he was doing some positive things that I liked. Me being a barber and seeing kids, coming in my shop and wanting to do things like sing, rap, or whatever they wanted to do. I could never call anybody that I grew up with, but I could always call EA. Studio time costs a lot of money. I would never bombard EA with nothing unless I thought it was right or I felt it was right. Even though I would take kids to a studio, EA would keep it real with them and tell them you got some work to do. EA would never charge me up, for these kids because he loved these kids. I would sit back and watch EA talk to these kids and school them or what to do. You know what I mean? Because to me, there's never a bad kid, just a misdirected kid. You know what I'm saying? EA understood that because he went through that. You know what I'm saying? I had 4 brothers that went through that, so I know how it go. I'm not going to talk about them. You know what I'm saying? But I could talk about EA because, he's here. That's my man. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen some of the things that he did for me when he didn't have to do that. You know, I would leave my shop just to take a kid down to his studio, and they'd be so happy. Oh my God, I'm going down the studio. I'm gonna be in front of these people, yup. And then when they go in there and they see the cameras, they would look at me like, damn, like you did that for me, yup. Because somebody did that for me when I was growing up. You understand what I'm saying? See, when I was growing up, I had old heads that kept me off of the street when I had other friends that was doing whatever they was doing, and I was cool with it because they was my friends. But I had not only my friends, but I had old heads that said, no, Evo, this ain't for you. I'm gonna drop you off at the basketball court or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I just felt like now, even in my life, even with my own kids, like my kids, you know, my kids, they do their thing, they try their hardest. You know what I'm saying? But these kids out here, you know what I'm saying, they need that attention. You know what I'm saying? If you can spend at least an hour out of your time talking to one kid or trying to make them feel good about something that they don't feel good about, you're going to make them feel good, if you can understand what I'm saying. Yeah, so even with, you know, with the kids and what they go through and their dreams and aspirations, you know, I would send them to EA, to Eric Allen, you know, my friend, you know, and it's weird how these kids would just bright up when they get around EA. I saw the videos myself that EA did all over the city with different kids and different groups. And I would just watch them. I would watch YouTube over and over and over again. You know what I mean? And I would get so much out of it that would make me, you know, when kids would come in my barbershop, not even just kids, I'm talking about grown-ups too, that wanted to do certain things or whatever. And the first person I could think about is Eric. You know what I mean? EA. So, and I couldn't think of nobody else. Even though I know a lot of people, EA will always come to mind because he was never a selfish guy. He was always about his community. He was always about, you know, the community, period. Everything about EA was solid to me because he reminded me of myself, period. He reminded me of who I was, how my old heads built me to be. You know what I'm saying? I always stood what I did. Always. You know what I mean? But just watching him move and, you know, like the cameras, I never really been around cameras. I never been afraid of cameras, but I never really been around cameras. And to watch, you know, how people get excited when they get around it, it made me excited. That's what made me not be afraid of cameras. Watching kids be around cameras, watching kids rap, and watching how EA would critique them in a way that certain people would get mad, like, what is he saying? I'm all that. Like, what is he doing to me? I'm all that. And then after he break it down, they understood. And I'd be ready to leave and leave them. And they'd be like, go ahead, D-Boy, I'm cool, I'm staying, I'm good. And I could go home and just feel good that these kids are safe in their hand. And then they call me the next day, or their father called me like, Ebo, thank you. See, it wasn't that EA got him a record contract or who he was around or who he was affiliated with. It was just the fact that he told them the right thing and he set them in the right direction so they can do it. It's about doing for yourself. You know, but sometimes they need that little nudge and that little push. Sometimes people, I'm not going to say that you're too important to help the kids, but sometimes people got stuff to do and they forget. But I could always depend on EA, no matter what. No, I would never call him like once a week or twice a month or whatever. It could be 2-3 times a year, but I can guarantee you this. If I brought somebody down to that studio, EA will tell you, I would leave them there. I would leave them there.
You been down here 60 years?
60 years, right here.
I thought we was in Montrose Street.
No, we was here 60 years, 18th Street.
You walked across the tracks
and we
every
lived,
day.
And we lived right down the street for 2 years.
Oh,
I used to walk
Chadwick Street.
Yeah, I used to walk all the way to South Street every day. That's where I'm from, on the other side.
Yeah, he used to walk down 18th Street every
I used
day.
to walk back and forth. I used to walk home about 4 or 5 times a day, back on this side here. But this side here was
like the suburbs.
What's a good side to me where I could come without all the noise and all that. But, you know, because I stayed on the noisy side and the rowdy side. And my family, well, always was part of
That's when Primary Street started.
The Renegade. I'm originally from 15th and Clymer.
That's where it started from.
And that's where it was called. My older brother,
Larry Lodge.
My older brother Lodge, my baby brother Dickie. He was originally 18th Street, my baby brother.
Yeah,
with his crew and my cousin Bobby.
That's right.
They crew was all here, but I'm on the other side.
Yeah, we all had different crews. We all had different squads.
Everybody had somebody that they was hanging with around.
We all was family.
I used to hang down 15th and Dickinson playing pool and all that when I wasn't on the other side. But we did a lot of things, my family and my friends and all that, but everybody knew my older brother Lodge, and everybody knew my baby brother Dickie. They did so much stuff, and who didn't remember my cousin, Renegade Melvin? Everybody remember my cousin.
I thought I was a good little boy.
He always stayed in trouble. I mean, you know, when you see one, it always was 2 or 3 of us in my family together. Whatever happened, it always was 2 or 3. When somebody got in trouble, got locked up, they always say, I bet you one of the Starks is there. 1 or 2. Yeah, and they right. We was always there. You know what I mean? We did our thing. Everybody else did their thing. But my older brother, he made the pathway for all of us. Well, and,
Boss of bosses.
And for a lot of people in South Philly. It wasn't for him.
People
A lot of people
Philly,
would
period,
be
not just South
messed
Philly.
up. I mean, he helped
The city
everybody.
of Philadelphia.
I mean, he helped it everybody, and everybody loved him. You know, he was a person to be loved.
That's
Because,
how we
you know
always
what I mean?
had to respect.
The younger generation don't respect the older
Nothing or
generation
nobody.
like years ago. I mean, you got to respect people. Everybody respects somebody because this is how life is. White people come in this neighborhood.
We got a couple of young Starks over there.
And move and do everything they want. And what's gonna see when we was coming up, we fought each other. This side against that side, that corner against that corner, but
this was the harder shit. Eh?
When we got older, all that doesn't matter. We grew up, we friends. I mean, what happened 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 20, don't mean anything. That was the past. That was what happened when things that we did. Don't nobody go back on the future. He killed my brother, he killed my uncle, he killed my cousin. Don't nobody even think of that, the older generation. You don't have no grudge because that's how life was. You can't hold a grudge when things happen in life.
Back.
You know, you go back and look and say something happened 40 years ago. For what? Well, I mean, why go? I mean, go back. That's how it was.
Assalamualaikum, how y'all?
Walaikum salam. Hey! Hey, what's happening, baby?
Hey, boy, y'all getting the band back together, ain't
No.
The Starks boys better watch it.
All right. We just, what's it called, talking about what we did, how the fun we had, and all that. What's it called? My cousin Ken Do and Poppy.
That was the guy there. That guy there, Dennis, alias Ken Do, Ken of Starks. He was that little boy. He was that boy, Ken Do.
I started
He
at
was
the age of 8.
He started at 8.
I came up under
Talk
my
about
brothers. I
that.
come
Talk
up
about
under my
that. When
brothers
you
and
started for
cousins
youngin.
And everybody.
So you the only one that pictured the Black Corporated,
I was the
right?
only- I was
You
the
was
only
7
young
years
boy.
old, wasn't you?
No, I was like 12.
Oh, yeah.
It was when they had
tuxedo hat.
Yeah, when they had the Black Poppy. He in the picture with a tuxedo on. 9 years old.
Yeah, the black 9 years
I was the
old.
With a tuxedo on.
I was the
We killed
mascot
us.
of the Black
Mascot, Black Incorporated. The mob, yeah.
That's how I learned from my
He
old
found
age.
me.
That's
He
right,
found
you
in the
know?
footsteps. That's me. Can you imagine a 9-year-old with guy 29, 30 years old killers and all
Killers.
that? He right there. They got their arm around his little self.
Because he was the Starks. Why wouldn't he? He was representing. He was the Starks boy.
Yes,
yeah,
he was.
my little brother. Yeah, that was my little brother. Yeah. This where the Black Incorporated started from. Right here, this corner here, right over
that
there.
house.
That house over there, the Black Mob came up. Sam Christian.
All these streets.
Sam Christian put all these niggas together.
Cadillacs, BMWs, every drop off right there.
Yeah, that's where it started from.
You come past these neighborhoods, and my brother come past. You'll come past. You'll see 7 or 8 Cadillacs out there. They'll come past, and we'll be sitting outside talking all that. My brother here, and there come to see my brother and talking all that in front of my mother's door. And be a bunch of them.
Like they was asking permission. Permission, can they do this? Or can they do that? That's what they was coming for.
All these Cadillacs.
Ask permission.
And all that in front of that door.
Boats, as y'all well know, from one of the largest neighborhoods in Germantown. And growing up in Germantown, which a lot of y'all don't know, back in the 50s, this area was called Anderson Playground, where we at now. And from then on, it was considered East Germantown. They changed the name to East Germantown, which all of this is Germantown. Later on, it was considered, which was that in the 80s, it was considered Lonnie Young, one of our so-called brothers that was from the hood. He was on the boxing team, Olympic boxing team, and he lost his life in a plane crash. And they eventually named the playground after Lonnie, good brother. But the area also is known as Summersville, where we grew up at. We grew up in Summersville, and back then, like I said, growing up in Summersville, hey, anybody that lived in Summersville know, it was like family, all for one and one for all, But we had some good times, we had some bad times, and life went on.
Hey, I also remember when he mentioned that Somerville, when he mentioned the Ville, there was a thing called the pit back here. I remember my old heads will bring me back there. That's where most of the fair ones will take place. I was traumatized as a youngin'. Went home, told my mom several times, yo, Dad, my dad had me, it was blood everywhere, but it was a learning lesson, and I wouldn't change those memories or experience for nothing.
So what blocks consist of Somerville?
Old Haven people know.
What blocks? Name all the blocks in Somerville, because you said something about the fight. So, like, if I'm somebody and I don't know that, so what block is being up with which block? Who's fighting who? Who's beating each other up on the same block, or is it
I'm gonna say this.
Okay,
with Somerville, it's different sections of Somerville. Some of us sitting here, we're from East Side Somerville. Some are from Top Side Somerville. There's a Bottom Side Somerville, and also Homicide. He could probably bring you the other section, South Side. So, yeah.
So we're one of the biggest gangs in the city of Philadelphia, as far as geographically.
Somerville could come from, I'm going to say, Stinton and Haynes, all the way over to like you said, Borden Alley, and also Borden Stinton. Also going back towards Germantown, what's Wayne Avenue?
Yeah.
Wayne Avenue, pushing all the way to, I'm gonna say mid 60, 66, 67, because across Ogas it becomes the claim. So if you're going from left to right and right to left, I think that would be the perimeter.
It's definitely 6 or 7 parts to Somerville. So you got East Side, which is I'm from, Top Side, Bottom Side, Homicide, West Side, South Side,
Homicide.
and Homicide. Homicide Squad. So you know, I was born and raised in the section Price and Crittenden Street called East Side Somerville, and you know, right there, it's probably one of the smallest sections, but back then it was one of the roughest sections that I can admit. But you know, back then it was all rough because you know, let's say nowadays the youngins are glorifying gun violence. Back then we was raised as men, so you settled your differences with your hands. And to this day, you know, men are able to still speak about it and things like that. So, you know, nowadays, like growing up in Somerville, it wasn't nothing but like a big old family. Whether you was from East Side, Bottom Side, Top Side, everybody stuck together when it came to somebody from the outside. So, you know, we had our differences inside.
That's right. And there were times when we didn't have nobody else to fight, we fought each other.
Absolutely.
We fought each other. I'm from Top Side. You know, I was born and raised here, South Side on Boyer Street down there. At one time we used to call it the 56 Bell Bar. Now it's called TJ's. But like he just said, we all a family in the field. Spin off what Mikey just said about the pit. We used to call it the hole. It was 1, 2 up front, and then it was 3 back here, which is covered up now. And old heads didn't care. If they see us arguing amongst each other
take it to the hole.
On the basketball court, they stop the game and put you in the hole. And you gotta go in that hole and body box to the end. And if you
fight.
Or fight.
And that wasn't the only reason why you were in the hole.
Oh, yeah.
When it come to going back to school, spring training, hey, everybody had to box.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You got in there, and them old heads would, I mean, they would put something on your ass. Trust me.
Definitely.
Yeah, they put something on your ass. There ain't no coming out. It was like gladiator. You know what I mean? Everybody's around that little square, and they once you in, you in. You got hickeys, cuts, whatever. You know what I mean? That's the way we grew up. You know what I mean?
I want to add something to my neighborhood. My name is Vez, and I'm from East Side Somerville. I was asking my mother this morning. We moved back East Side Somerville in 1970. When we moved back East Side Somerville in 1970, we lived around Italians. Italians was on Worcester Street. We had Italian food markets.
Mike's.
Look, Mike's was our food market. Look, we would play hopscotch, double dutch, hide and seek, catch a girl, get a girl. We would go to Aubrey Park. I played tennis in Aubrey Park for 3 years. I probably should have beat Venus and Serena. But I'm serious. But my mother worked. My father died when I was young, so I didn't have anybody to support me to push it. But I played for 2 or 3 years. I was on Channel 29 one time. But, you know, that was them. But when we moved back there, it was everybody in the community supported each other. Everybody was unified. You can knock on your next door neighbor door and say, do you have a cup of sugar? Do you got a slice of bread? People really, a lot of us, we was struggling. But we made the best of what we had. And we didn't allow other people to dictate how we lived our lives in our hood. But I noticed maybe at least 6 or 7 years later, I noticed the Italians started moving out. They started moving, you know, I guess it was, you know, it was a lot of us blacks moving in, so they started moving out. I think the only Italian that really stayed back was Pasquale on the corner of Stinton and Haynes, Blue Caves, sold the water ice and the pretzel.
And Pasquale had his differences with the neighborhood.
Right.
You know what I mean? When they first came in, hey, they fought everybody in Top Side Somerville. They started on Sprague and Shelton. Then they moved to Stetton, to Stetton and Haynes.
Right.
Yeah, that's how long Pasquale them been around. But hey, you can get some of the best cheesesteaks in the city in Pasquale. Yeah.
And what's crazy is, what Vez was saying, that Italians and the whites was in this area because we moved here, well, I was born here in the 70s, 1970. And I had white neighbors. My neighbors was white. bar around the corner, they call it Tavern on the Green now. That was an all Irish bar.
Yes.
My mom used to send me in there for cigarettes. They used to say, "What are you doing in here?" And I was a little, I was a little rough, so I used to be like, "Man, fuck y'all, I'm getting my mom cigarettes." And they let me go to the machine. Back then, you had to go to the machine and get the cigarettes or whatever. You know what I mean? But we got good memories from the neighborhood because. We grew up in Germantown. This is considered East Germantown, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But like I said, we grew up here in the 70s, and it was another side. If you cross Chew Avenue, was Haynes Street, and Somerville and Haynes Street didn't get along. But for some reason, I've come to find out that my grandma lived back Haynes Street, so I had a little situation where as though they chased me one day from. I said, "Why they chasing me?" They said, "Get him, he from Somerville." So my dad had to explain that to me, so I was cool because, I had one of the largest families back there, but still, it was a learning lesson. But like I said, back then, the worst thing can happen to you is you get your ass whipped. And growing up in the Ville, they taught you, never ran, never will. That was our motto.
That's our motto.
Where you from? Eastside Somerville, never ran, never will. And that meaning not to glorify it, but that meant that don't run, stand there and fight like a man. But see, and I just want to touch on what the youngins don't understand now is back then, we kind of like glorified the hustler because what the hustler did was he didn't just hustle, he took care of the neighborhood. He took care of the older people. He took care of his family. So you know what I mean? Like now they looking, they glorifying the shooter. Like the shooter is like a crash dummy now, you know what I mean? He's throwing his life away. He's gonna affect two families in one, you know what I mean? His family and somebody else's family, you know what I mean? So we don't glorify that because the way we was raised is if you have a difference, you sell it like a man. Like they say, you take it to the hole. We be on the basketball court. If you ain't like how hard somebody fouled you, let's take it to the hole. And if that person wasn't about that and he ain't want to throw his hands, he'll say, check the ball up. That means he don't want to go to the hole. But, if he wanted to prove himself, he'd go to the hole. And, that was just growing up, you know what I mean? But we all experienced different things, and, we all grown now.
And the good part about it, we live to fight another day.
Life in the city of brotherly love. During the times of the racial riots, Black Lives Matters forming, senior citizens not being able to get their medication due to black people rioting, tearing up stores, a place where there's already no resources. So they did the damage, made it even worse. Black lives didn't matter to each other, to the inner cities, once they were destroying stores and supermarkets and important places that people needed to go, like the post office and things like that. So to me, black lives didn't matter to themselves during that era of the George Floyd incident in the United States of America due to racial riots.
Speed and action.
Hi, my name is Tracy Lynn Harris, born and raised in the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. Is something that we give out here. We're known for the delicious salted pretzels, home of the cheesesteaks, and I want you to come here to Philadelphia and visit. I've lived here all my life. Couldn't pay me to move and go to nowhere else. I've been to other countries, continents, and all over the city of Philadelphia. It's nothing like it. Home of the water rice, the pretzels, and the cheesesteaks. Try one.
In Saigon. I was Saigon.
That was you. Yeah.
I was
13th
Saigon
Street.
before they start calling how Saigon came about. They started, we used to be in there getting high and shit in the projects and shit, and nobody couldn't come in the door. We had all the doors on lock, all of the staircases. We had niggas on the stairway and at the doors. You couldn't come in this building, and people just start saying, that's like Saigon. They can't even come in and get nothing. If you lived there, you had to sign in or something with us. Me, Bulldog. We was something else down there, man.
Had to walk up the steps.
One time,
elevators broke.
when I got shot, one time JB Young Boys, They was down here. They was around the corner. They opened up around there, and I was getting on. We went around there, and I slid through the $50 bill. It was a phony joint, and I slid him the joint, and and we ran back out. We got the shit, got back out in the car, and it was snowing. The car wasn't getting ready to start. Dude came out and froze us. Came out with the gun, talking about, yo, hold it. You know, whatever. One of y'all gave me a 50. I said, what you talking about? What you talking about? We was talking. We was just kicking and shit. He was up, and he had the gun on us like this. And this damn fool had the nerve to take the gun and put it under his arm. What?
No, go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead. No.
Put the gun under his arm like that, looking for the fake 50. I said, imagine that. Give me that. Give me that thing, and the money, and the coke, and
all that.
You get back in the house, and we out. We jumped back in the car, get in the car, home there. We rolled, got back in the car, went on 20 from Carpenter. We was hanging out there. I fucked around and shot myself in the leg.
We at the animal
gun,
house?
with that gun, huh?
We at the animal house?
Yeah, at the animal house. The animal, oh man, he talking about the house. The animal house. 19th and Carpenter. 18th and 19th and Carpenter.
2 doors
My
from
homie Craig Dykes lived right over there. I shot myself. Wouldn't even go to the hospital. I seen the bullet halfway coming out my feet. I'm trying to get the bullet out. We go down 13th Street, because the boy I had with me was from 13th Street, Saigon. We go down there, chilling, you know, from there and shit. Then I went on and, Then I went on to the hospital and shit, though. You know, that's just one of my little, you know, horizons. Another one I had, oh man, this was the worst one.
But I remember
the Yamco. Who don't know about him? He was the roughest cop in the city. He was the roughest cop in the city.
They were always trying to get members.
He was the roughest cop in the city.
Highway patrol.
Highway patrol, boot cop.
He had locked me up one time. I lived there.
Where they get?
Me and my man were riding through the little street, and we rode through the little street. He stopped me on 19th and Dickinson. Strip searched me.
In the street?
In the street. Talk about he gonna shoot me. This is a cop. Talk about because of my name and all that. He gonna shoot me, search me and all that. And he pulled the gun talking about, I should shoot you there. And the old lady was looking out the window. And I said, Miss, you see me with my hands up to the sky. I got my hands way up the sky, buck naked. Buck naked on what's going to talk about.
He really dissed you.
Yeah.
He would have had to shoot me.
Talking about, you got a gun in that car. They got a gun in that car. That wasn't my car. It was a car that belonged to a friend, his girlfriend. And he was saying, I know it's a gun in the car. We had the key underneath the mattress for the glove compartment. And he was searching, talking about, what's in that glove compartment? I said, I don't know, because it ain't my car. He said, I know something in there. And his partner, Mars, was saying, you can't tear the car because it belongs to somebody. It ain't their car, what's called. But my friend it was a gun in the car, but lucky that they didn't.
They couldn't search the car.
They searched it, but lucky they didn't want to break the glove compartment. But other than that, he did everything else. He had me naked and all that. Almost kicked me in my ass and all.
How you almost kicked you in your ass? How you do that?
Because the lady the old lady was looking out the window.
Street? You know, he wanted to kick you.
He wanted to kick me in the ass. The old lady was looking out the window, and he had the gun in my face. And I was reaching my hands up to the sky, naked.
They had a contract out on him.
Get you all kind of stuff, man.
They tried to get.
They had a contract out on him.
That's how what's called he was. He was a nasty nigga.
They had a contract out on him.
On the
They had a
quiet.
backup squad behind him and all that. That's when they put me on TV. They tried to give me the case. We had a shootout with him, and we had a little shootout with him and everything. You know, me and my man Dan Roy. You know,
You got locked up for it.
I don't know that y'all don't know about them. The Black Incorporated Part 2, the Squad of Squads. These boys, this was the Squad of Squads. This when they stopped all the gang wars. All the gangs in South Philly, Sam Christian and them, put them all together. We had a little meeting. Where was the meeting at?
Well, our meeting was on 15th
The meeting was
Street
on 20th and Pemberton. at the
Pals.
Pals. We had the meeting there, all the gangs. The top 3 runners in every gang had to come to the meeting. If you ain't came to the meeting, you get seen. Every gang in the city had to come. If you don't come, you get seen.
My name Vaughn. Welcome to Philadelphia.
So what's been up?
So one day I was on YouTube and I was watching Philly Uncut, and I said, damn, this EA, that's my man. Okay, let me watch this. At first I was confused. I was like, well, what's going on here? But then after a while, when I started watching different segments of it, and I started seeing people that I knew from all different places, you know, on Philly Uncut, I was like, damn, okay, EA, all right, cool. And once I really started like really getting into Philly Uncut, I was like, damn, this is kind of something that I've done in my lifetime where, honestly, I have been in situations with some young boys that hated each other. And it bothered me so bad that, and those, I don't really like talking about people. I don't do that. But I've been in situations where I had to bring 2 people together that hated each other and talk to them or let them talk it out. And now I'm talking about when they was in their 20s and now they in their 40s and now they best friends. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of that, I get that, it's about being educated and paying attention, because I remember my son told me a long time ago, Dad, you judging me off the music that I'm listening to instead of listening to it yourself. So I started listening to it. So I listened to King Von and all that. I listened to what they saying. But when I started watching Philly Uncut and I started talking to young people, no, I didn't get through to all of them. I didn't. I'm not going to sit up here and lie and say that I did. But the majority of them, to watch 2 people sitting down that could have killed each other, and now you see them together or talking or whatever, or walking down the street with their kids, and like one I know worked for the post office, and the other boy come in and get his hair, and they cool, and they sit in the chair and they talk. They don't talk about none of that back in the day stuff or whatever. So, you know, so just for me being like aware, because I wasn't aware of none of this, the Philly Uncut going, listen, EA was going in different neighborhoods talking to people and projects that I wouldn't even go in. Like, I ain't going in there, but I seen it. And I was like, damn, like this boy is laughing. He really down 7th and Snyder, like laughing and joking. Like, I would not even get out the car until I had to understand. I had to understand, you know what I'm saying, where I came from. See, because he understands where he comes from. It's not an ego thing. It's a reality thing. And that's why I love him. That's my man. I mess with EA. I fuck with EA. My name is Kenny Ebo. I'm a double OG. I'm a barber. People come to me with their problems and situations, but I'm a double OG, and I love that about me. I'm a double OG.
But I'm the OG cousin from South Carolina. And I came up here at the age of 7, 1956? No, 58. And I thought I was coming up for the summer, but it turned out that I stayed here ever since. West Philly was home for me. It was my new home, and it was very different because I came from a place where people would say, good morning, and didn't know you. Yes. And this is weird. This has been weird for me still, because when I see somebody, I don't know them, but I say, hey, how you doing? Because I see them on a regular basis, but that's me, not everybody. But West Philly became my home, and I tell everybody this, West Philly that's my place. I'm a West Philly girl. From 60th from Webster to 57th from Webster.
Right, 60.
57th Street, West Philly, that's my home. I fought when I had to, but I wasn't a fighter. And again, my cousin just laid the map for me. I didn't have to do a whole lot.
Yeah.
I want to ask y'all a very serious question that I experienced, and I'm from the 60s as well, late 60s. Islam. Now, I heard a lot of different OGs and old heads talk about when their experience of Islam, whether it's from the Nation of Islam. And I think that's how a lot of us got introduced to Islam. Can you explain, each one of you, explain a little teeny perspective of when Islam was introduced to you and what religion was around at that time that you knew of?
I'll go
Sure,
first.
sure. My father's Muslim.
And what year was this around?
My father was born in 1922. My father became a Muslim while he was incarcerated, and I can't tell you what year, but he became a follower of Elijah Muhammad. And I was going to Catholic school, St. E's on 23rd Montgomery, right? I went to St. E's. So my father and I used to battle about Islam and Catholicism, right? And he would tell me, son, you just don't know it, but you were born a Muslim, right? He'd tell me that. And he would take me to the masjid on Bailey and Columbia, between Bailey and Oxford and Columbia. Used to be a mosque, when the masjid was a mosque. I met Malcolm there. Used to go there. They used to have the shabazz, the bean soup, and I love the bean soup, and the whole wheat muffin, the whole wheat muffins. You know, so that was my introduction then. But as time went by, I became disgruntled with my Catholic religion. And one this particular time, my son got here. Muslim.
Rahimullah.
Muslim. Gave me my shahada.
We lost both our brothers recently, so it's still painful. Yeah, still painful.
So for me,
my whole family, as they said, was Muslim. My children were Muslim before I became Muslim. Wasn't my husband at the time, but however, I knew in my heart, in my deepest heart, that was the way to go. And because we were trained as children for Catholicism and Christianity, you think that's the way. And one particular day, I'm in information technology. I was in the military. I did all of the Pentagon and all of that. And I met a woman from Israel, from Tel Aviv. And she asked to take me to lunch. And she said to me, I don't understand your race. She said, I don't understand your race taking on a religion that was forced upon you. She said, do you know how much is missing out of the King James Bible? She said, my husband is your complexion. We know that the black man was the first man on this earth. Meanwhile, I'm a new babe in Christ. I go to the pastor, tell the pastor everything that this woman has said to me. And he looked at me, he said, she's right. That's why I say study. Now, speed you up, I'm jumping from church to church. I'm not being fulfilled. It was just something that was just eating at my core. I don't like to be yelled at. I can't hear you if you're yelling at me. And I'm often like, why they don't come from Genesis? Why they don't talk about the Old Testament, right? Anyway, speed you along. I met my husband, Khalil Bridges, and he's Muslim. My daughters are Muslim. My sister, my father, my grandfather, all my nephews and nieces. Not that I ever fell out of place, but I know if something is for you, it's for you. I didn't need them to force me because they were already praying for me. I met this Muslim woman in Malvern on lunch. Muslim. Her and I were talking. She was so beautiful. She looked so beautiful in her garments and everything, and we spoke. We started meeting every week. I didn't tell anybody. And I decided this was the time for me because I felt that I was ready. And I took my shahada and I told my sister, I told my brother, he cried. He said my prayers had been answered. He brought over the sealed nectar. He brought me the whole book of the sealed nectar. Read this. My sister gave me, I'm getting all these gifts and so I knew what was for me is for me because Islam is a way of life. Not because of what I see other people do. When my husband and my brother married us, I don't know, I might be revealing something nobody knows here, but we were married twice. During COVID, we got married, and my brother married me. Then we had another wedding in July. And after the wedding, my friends kept saying, what's a dowry? You know, those kind of things. And I said, I'm going to say to you, like it was said to me by my brother, Islam is the most beautiful religion. And until you get to know what it's about, you can't really say that we are following something until you really embrace it. My dentist told me that Islam is such a misunderstood religion. It's so beautiful. There are people out there that know Islam is beautiful. It's a way of life. It's a way of life. So with that, we are all one. We can celebrate together. We can love each other. We know because we are one. And we pray together. And we pray together. And we pray for each other. And I know my brother is Qadir. He did what he was supposed to do.
Absolutely.
He did what he was supposed to
He
do.
wasn't the only brother that we lost. We lost our other brother, Gregory,
who was
a couple
Muslim.
months ago.
Yes, he was. And his children were Muslim. It's just
Allah make Muslims. Allah make Muslims.
It's just and then we both. She's been more than once, but I went to Umrah. I was able to go. You know, when you go to Saudi Arabia, you're chosen. You know, to go, and it was the most beautiful thing for me just to be able to touch the Kaaba and see Ibrahim Station and go into.
Listen, we went. And I said, when I move, you move just like that. To get to the Kaaba. When I move, you move. We move up, slid over. Move up, slid over. We still was doing a cert. We went around and we got to that thing. I said, she started to break down. I said, don't do it. Live in this moment right now. Live in this moment. Know where you are. Allah invited you. Allah invited you with me. Because I've been here 5 times. I go every year. Since I've been back in Philly, and you know, it was beautiful to have my daughter and my sister there.
Yes,
that was my dua being. Alhamdulillah, but listen, we from West Philly, we them folks, and we love our part of town. No matter where we going in the world, West Philly all day long. We repping
the twins from
West Philly. Y'all know about us.
Listen, we're speaking of day, you know what I mean? We're talking about like the white people. I remember living next. I'm Gov. I remember living next door to the white folks down there on Boyer Street. And this is the first time I ever heard supper. I didn't know what supper was. And they kept talking about, Mom would come out and say, Joey, come inside. It's time for supper. And I went to ask my mom, like, Mom, what is supper? Because they have supper like every night. They don't have nothing else different. You know, my mom's like, boy, get in the house so you can eat.
That's right.
Next door neighbors or the neighbors down the street, they were, you know, white. They say, come get supper. I'm like, that's all white people eat. That's what I thought, they just ate supper. So I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know it meant dinner. Yeah. You know, so just thinking about it, and then I just watched them gradually move out, like y'all said, and you know, they moved in. Then we moved in more, and like I said, this part of Philly, which is East Germantown, Somerville, we are nothing but a big family. So what you from East Side, so what you from South Side. So what you from homicide?
There was a time, the Ville, collectively, we are family.
Yeah.
And back then, it was certain times, certain people couldn't go to certain neighborhoods.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
You definitely couldn't go in certain neighborhoods, and we had to respect that, because we all stood for what we believed.
Right.
But like you said, Somerville, we collectively, we definitely family.
But see, like, the youngest don't, not to cut you off, the youngest now, they don't understand, like, we try to give them some game, they look at us like we don't know. But I'm sitting here now, Boats, Vez, Moon, they my old heads. I still respect them because we got a mutual respect for each other. Not that they older than me or I'm younger than them. It's just the fact that I have respect for them because we came from the same neighborhood. I know they got my best interests at heart. You know what I'm saying? Even Mikey over there. Like Mikey he from Homicide, but I know if I see him out and I got an issue, I know me and him together, we can handle it, you know what I mean? We can work it out, or whatever the case may be, but I know he got my back because we from the same area, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? That's like, he's my old head over there, Moon. You know, that's Big Moon right there, you know what I mean? He's sitting there cool,
He just
but...
got him from a flight, so...
Yeah, he a little tired from a flight, but that's my old head right there, you know?
He came through to show up.
They ready to...
Hey, yo, not to cut you off, y'all was talking about the eateries in a different neighborhood. So it'll take me back to a beautiful place. Like I said, I'm Mikey. I'm the youngest from the crew, right? So I'm 50 now, right? I'm the young boy of this crew. So I always feel like, you know, a person always had to have like a certain qualification to call me their young boy. You know what I mean? So with everybody sitting here, you know, they definitely have those qualifications, right? So by me being from 21st and Maderi / 21st and Shelton, that's the Homicide Squad. We had an eatery called Primo's. And when I tell you, he would let us run up tabs to go get the lunch meat and the bread. You know what I mean? Hey, look, sometimes the bread might be a little molded. You know, your mom tell you, man, hey, look, take them edges off, man, and keep going. Hey, look, you might get a sour milk from time to time. No, take that back. You know what I mean? You know, but Primo was definitely one of the ones, you know, that wasn't that embraced us all.
Very respectful.
Yeah, and like before I go any further, I would really want my old heads to know from all over the Ville, you know, that I love all them, you know, a dear friend of mine who was murdered. His name was Big Rose, Eric Rose. Hell of a family. You know, I'm talking about really taught me the game when it came to the streets. Hey, look, when I tell you that he was one of a kind, you know, I think about him every day. But you know, I would salute him to the end of time. When it comes to old heads, and I say that to say. There was a time I thought that I was one of the baddest from the Ville, right? So I did something disrespectful on Shelton Avenue, right? Again, not glorifying anything, but it was Rogue that took my bike, and the other old heads that said, yo, you can't come back up here for a couple days. So I'm like, the love and respect that I have for my old heads, I went home, I cried, you know what I mean? You know, and I had to regroup from it, but it also gave me balance and structure in regards to what you do and can do in the Ville. You know,
because the old heads checked you.
Because the old heads checked you.
Mikey, not to cut you off while you talking about the old heads, right? While you were sitting there just listening to your story, I gotta talk about my old head, Stomach.
Right.
My God, you talking about one of the triple OGs.
Yeah.
Stomach back in the 80s. You know, he would be, because they hung out at the bar at the beach. We can't leave out the beach.
You can't.
The beach is
Sprague Street.
The beach is on Sprague Street. That is the safe haven.
Yeah.
For real.
Right.
But when they used to be at the 56 bar, they great start, you know, they great get into whatever.
Right.
Go down the street.
Right.
Man, I ain't gotta, you ain't my dad. Go down the street. You know what you do? Go down the street, sit on the step, you cry. Brother asks you why you crying, or your mom asks you why. Steinman, boats, pond, Chuck. They told me to go down the street and hit me upside my head. Well, you should have listened to them.
Right.
And
because not to cut you off, but they was probably trying to get you out the way or something.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They was probably trying to get you out.
I want to bring up old head. I want to bring up my old head from Topside. And that was half head.
Half.
Even though I was from East Side, I was 16. I ain't gonna lie, I ran away. And I met Half on Price Street talking to Brahim. Half came over there, and I thought Half was ugly. I was a kid.
Right.
And I said, oh my God. I said, he ugly, right? And he looked up at me, he said, B, he said, I'll throw this effing bike through your mother effing window. And I was young, and I said, and my mom gonna kill you. Not knowing that he was half-head. Right. You know, after that happened, Brahim said to me, you don't know who that is? That's Half. And he a killer and all this. I'm like, what? So a couple days later, I came to Shelton Avenue, 21st and Shelton, where Reedy Lounge used to be. And Rennie Boone, nicknamed Zop, was on the corner, and I looked and I saw Half. And I remember standing and I was petrified. And I was saying, this man is gonna kill me. And I remember looking at him and I was smiling because I wanted him to like me.
Right.
And I said, you remember me? I'm the little girl that she was gonna throw the bike through my mother's window. And he said, come here. And I went over to him, listen. And he embraced me. And I ain't gonna lie, I was scared to death. And I ended up dealing with Half. So I was leaving top east side and coming back here and back south side for a long time. You know, and eventually Half ended up going to jail. And my life moved on, but through the loyalty that I have for him as a person, I stuck with Half through everything. And if you know, both Half died in jail from cancer. And we had this repast right here. Me and Sadiq and Vincent laid it out and put it together because that was me paying homage back to a man who told me as a young child, and no disrespect to anyone, that as long as you got something between your legs, you should never walk around and be broke. Not saying that I had to sell myself, but he was letting me know, yo, you ain't never got to ask nobody for anything when you got the tools to utilize yourself. You know, and he always told me this too. He said, a woman, just like a child, is supposed to be seen and not heard. If I ain't learned nothing else, I learned that from him. That's what I want to say about
I'm saying I learned from Half.
Cut.
Oh my God.
Now, you know, I'm definitely empathetic to that, but you know, the question I got asked, like, do you feel like it was worth it going home? Like, you say you went home, you know, pretty much you miss your family, to see your family, and then you at this point where you can change your life and your family all the way around and become not just legendary in Philadelphia, but legendary in world history. Like, do you regret going back home that day? And I know that might sound silly because, like, who would want to get shot? But you could have went home, got shot, made $1 million, and it could have been worth it to you. Like, I don't know.
Man, I actually was promised $1 million had I would have won a championship. You know, Don King was looking at me, Lou Duva was looking at me. You know, I came up in the era of sparring Bernard Hopkins for all his professional fights. I came up in the era of sparring Meldrick Taylor. It's not an older fighter out there you can think of I didn't box that was middleweight or super middleweight. I boxed them all.
So being as though that you experienced that, you know, do you feel like you lost the opportunity of a lifetime? Would you be able to get back in the ring? Like, what happened?
You know, coming home from the Olympic tryouts, I got shot. And when I finally woke up and realized that I got shot, I was hurt because the money I could have made, how I could have changed me and my family life. Like I said, that's going back to having one foot in the street, one foot in the gym. You gotta be 100% in the gym. And I was doing both, one in the street, one in the gym, you know, but that's how, you know, I got my bar, that's how I got my store, you know, I was boxing, I was selling drugs, I was doing too many things. So, you know, that messed my boxing career up.
So do you regret it? Like, was it? Cause
I definitely regret it.
Because you might could love the streets more than your boxing career. I don't know.
The streets, And then boxing, they was going hand in hand because, you know, in boxing, I win a big fight. Now, after a big fight, I got a big party tonight. You know, and now everybody coming out to the main event, big party tonight. Now I'm outside hanging out late night, drinking, still doing my thing, you know, money, drugs.
So just give me this.
Cars,
so just give me this.
people.
Just bring us through this mode. So now you gotta, you know, you gotta rehab. You got the reality is that, you know, I might not recover to be the same person I was. Like, did you try to return back to the ring in your form, or did you just quit and all after you got shot?
No, after I got shot 9 times, I continued on boxing, and I turned pro after that. So since I didn't win the Olympics, I turned pro. So me turning pro, that also was a life-changing because that was different than amateur. So I started making money in the pro game. So my life changed that way also. So, but I miss and wish I would have made the Olympics, but that's past. I can't go back, you know.
So you telling me you could have been like the Muhammad Ali of boxing, but you rather been the 50 Cent of boxing?
Could have been, you know,
That's what
but
you're telling me?
I got shot 9 times before 50 Cent.
Okay.
That was 1994 when I got shot. You know, I've been got shot 9 times. 50, you're late. You're late, 50. I've been got shot 9 times.
Like, do you ever think about like teaching kids how to box, open up a gym? You guys did a lot of hustling, maybe teach people some financial liberation, how to, like, you know, have some entrepreneurship, different type of hustle, any type of get back. Think about it.
Well, right now I'm actually in the process of trying to bring a gym uptown. I need a gym here, right here, where we from, so I can help the kids. And it's 1 million kids up here that I can help and that I know personally. You know, I got sons myself. So if I get a gym uptown, I will help a lot of kids, man. And boxing teaches you a lot about being out of the streets, discipline, respect. Boxing teaches you a lot. And it shows you the world. You do a lot of traveling. You make a lot of money. Boxing did a lot for me, man. Taught me a lot. But, you know, from the times that I left to travel somewhere, I come back to Philly, uptown. I done heard about EA, did this, did that. I'm like, wow.
Now, did you ever like, yo, bro, like, I'm boxing now, like, you don't gotta do all that, bro. Like, you ever have a moment with EA where you was like, bro, not too much, bro. Like, you think you had to do all that? I know how we get it, but dang, bro, like.
Well, you know, me and EA, man, we did our thing growing up, you know. EA was the man that I went to get what I need, you know. He looked out for me. He 56, I'm 52. I was basically his younger, you know. So this was my OG. This is somebody I looked up to uptown. You know what I mean? EA was the one around here ripping and running the streets, protecting people, fighting, drugs, you name it, this guy did it.
So you didn't pull no ring, you didn't tell him he did some things that wasn't a good idea.
I didn't tell him that because I was involved myself.
That's what it seemed
I
to be.
was happy to be a part of it.
Like some type of enforcer, some type of boxing enforcer, or like, you know, some type of nature.
Nah, but see, that's us keep going in and out of boxing in the streets.
Right.
You know, boxing in the streets, it mix a lot. You know, that's where a lot of fans come from, the streets.
Now, on a serious note, now just to you know, bring it to a closing to modern day boxing, and when you were talking, I heard nowadays a lot of boxers, they don't sell out the arenas. They don't have promote. They could be 90-0. They could have 5 belts. They can be on Instagram, every social media outlet that wasn't even out when you were out boxing, but yet they're not selling out, you know, no arenas. So it's a certain aspect of the street level where the box is needed, because if the streets don't know you, you're not putting no fans in a seat. So for a new up-and-coming boxer, so what would be a new way, a safe way rather, that you could tell people to be in the streets to get the fans there without risking themselves from being shot or getting in any drug activity?
First of all, well, don't sell drugs. If you don't want that life, don't sell drugs. But us growing up, we wanted to be that guy. You wanted to be somebody. You wanted to have a nice car. You wanted to have a nice house. You wanted to wear the nice clothes. So we had to do those things to get those things, you know. But I got it a couple ways. I got it this way, you know. I got it from hustling. I got it from a store.
But no, as far as answering the question is, how could you help, you know, a person up and coming who's trying to get fans in the arena, sell out them seats?
Right now, you know, in boxing, telling a young man about boxing, man, you got to stay in the gym. You got to run every day. You can't be hanging out with your friends all night long. I mean, you can have friends, but you can't be hanging out partying. You can't be selling drugs. You can't be doing none of those things. Right now, it got to be, if you want to make it to the top, you got to be 100% boxing. And from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, you gotta wake up, go running. You gotta come home, get some rest, wake up, eat a meal, back to training.
Lifestyle. Boxing is the lifestyle.
Boxing got to be everything.
It's not something you do, it's your lifestyle.
Your lifestyle. Your lifestyle. Boxing has to be everything for you to make it to the top.
So how do they get those fans? How do they get those people in the seat?
That's for the promoter.
Yeah.
Now let's let him do the outro. Yeah. Then we do the boxing. Okay, so you want to mention his name for the cameras?
Okay,
you want
what's
to
the
mention the
outro?
year he was talking about?
Face your name.
It's
your
Jamil
name.
Black Gold Wilson, and we in the outlet, 75th.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1, speed, roll. Action.
It's Jamil Black Gold Wilson, Uptown finest boxer. My day one EA.
Got that black gold on.
Still can do it still now to this day. I still got 12 rounds in me. try me if you don't believe me, because they got the gloves right here, EA. I see you looking. You peeking, but you ain't speaking.
But you don't come here to stand on the ropes either against Muriqui.
Well, sometimes that's a hard thing not to do with the type of pressure that Muriqui brings on. And I tell you, the way that he ended the round, you had to be impressed with that young man, Jamil Wilson.
And here goes another one of my nephews.
Another behind us. Here's another Starks.
Jackie Starks, Grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. You can stand right here.
This my nephew. This my nephew here. That's my sister.
Yo, my name's Javon Jenkins. Yeah, I've been there. This my papa right here. All the rest of them, they my uncles, blood uncles. I was raised around them. Growing up, it's crazy. I done been shot and all that. It's crazy.
You been shot already?
Yeah, that's what I said when he told me that.
Sometimes.
I was like, you're supposed to be one of the good apples off the tree.
Yeah.
You know?
You know how it is. They hate, and they love me.
They hate players. They hate real players.
Feel me? But I'm surrounded around a big family. You feel me? I know they got me, so I ain't really worried. This is part of the game. You know what I mean?
And this is my nephew right here. My wild sister's Jackie Starks. Her son. Everybody know. If you came to 18th Street, you know my sister Jackie. She was always on that step.
I know 18th Street.
Yeah, Southwood, but I'm saying you came to 18th Street, you always know Jackie on that step. She would be on that step. She had something to say to you and to say to everybody. And they know. They say, where that lady at? You didn't come around here and hang or say nothing. My sister Jackie will tell you straight out and straightforward. And they know what she said on that corner. They know, say, Don, that lady live in that house on 18th Street. That's all they know. That lady live there. But I mean, she always kept a job. I mean, she raised a lot of these young guys in the school around there.
Yeah,
Child, because she worked at Child for 25 years. And they came up like this. And they all had respect for her. That's what you could all say that young generation did. That when she came, they had respect. You know, these young guys, some of them have respect, but majority don't. They just got to get the respect back in the neighborhood. In the neighborhood, we be better off because you ain't gonna get nowhere hating each other.
Yeah, you be fighting. That shit ain't nothing.
If somebody doing better than you, be happy for them. Ask them how can I get to do better. That's all. Don't be hating because he's doing better. Try to ask him, can he help you to do better? That's the name of the game in this world, to try to do better for yourself. If he got a good job, ask him, can he get you one? See, that's what you got to do. Don't be hating because he got this and he got that. Ask him. Be nice. Don't hate on him. Ask him, how can you get what he got? Do they got any openings at your job? Can I put an application in? Is there any houses in there or this and that? I mean, you got to ask people. And things to work out. Ain't no need to be fighting or hating somebody because they got that. Hey, if you get it, you want people to hate on you because you got it? No, it ain't that. How did you get it? Somebody helped you. Everybody needed a helping hand in this world.
See, each one teach one.
Yeah, that's all. Everybody need a helping hand.